Hey there team, and welcome to a 3v3 on the Gulf of Lune. It's a nice little pitch battle. I'm playing as Umbar, which is definitely one of my favourite factions. It's not the top two, which is definitely Cardlin and Rudour, but it's up there. I've got my Balakith Shield Bearers and the Isengard. Armor upgrades all round. Every time I bring a Balakith unit, it's gonna have an armor upgrade, just because I much prefer the way they look with it. Then the Belgar Footmen, and I think I've actually given them... no, maybe not. I would have liked to have given them an armor upgrade, but I might have not been able to afford it. Because as I say, when I play Umbar, I like to make them incredibly elite, without actually taking any of the real elite units. It's a bit strange. But yeah, out front I've got the Balakith Marksmen mixing it up with the Belgar Archers. So not... couldn't really afford all Balakith Archers there. Balakith Marksmen. But I wanted to have a fair bit of Archer fire downrange. Belgar Footmen behind them, keep them safe, and then the Belgar Pikes at the sides with the Sentinels in the middle. Axeguard Shield Bearers, Shield Bearers, and no more Axeguard. Oh, okay, cool. Instead of Axeguard, I've got the Harbingers of Castamere. I've grabbed the Warlords of Umbar, and then some Adunheim Shield Guard, and the General is in with the Royal Guard, the Narrow Royal Guard there. I still treat the Narrow Royal Guard as if they're sort of a real top tier unit, which I like them a lot. And I always do say that I much prefer Archer Generals. Let's go to 0.5 just to make sure we don't get caught out. I've got Sid here, who's one of my mates. So we were in TeamSpeak for this battle, I should say. So he's got his Berserkers there, Guards of Orthanc, Spear Guard, Lurch Hunting Pack, Infantry, a nice long line of Pikes, and in front of them some Crossbows. And then some Warg Skirmishers. In the side there, the Trolls of the White Hand as well. I think Isengard's a solid faction for newer guys, which Sid at this point was. So, yeah, this is another fight from November-esque, I think. We've got Khand here, played by Czech Norris. He's got his Varii Bowmen, mixed in with some Nomadic Raiders. Behind them, Nurad Footmen, spread out nice and wide. Brothered of the Spear. Nurad Retainers there, Cataphracts, Brother of the Lance, and then the Wind Riders, of Khand, the Nurian, yeah, Shoreland Patrol. Yeah, I don't often see those guys actually, and the Brother of the Wain. So heavy cav forces, which is kind of what you'd expect from Khand, but he does have a nice quality infantry force. This is really what I like to advise people when they do play Rohan or they do play Khand. A lot of newer players, which Czech Norse definitely isn't, will just say, oh great, I'm a cavalry faction, I take all cavalry, right? No, you don't. You need to hold ground. You need to have a force so that we don't just have a 3v1 fight, a 3v2 fight while you run around and mess around with cav. With having these infantry on the field, it just means that Czech Norse is going to be holding somebody's focus. He can do whatever he wants with his cav, and he's going to do some good stuff with them, I'm sure. But he holds the ground, and that's a very important thing in field battles. And over here we've got, we'll just have to see. I think it's Arthedain. What's white again? Gondor, I think. And then over on the far side, that red tone is we'll just have to see. Imar, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is taking a little bit longer to deploy than I thought, but hey, better safe than sorry. It'd be nice if they're all good factions, and we've got a little good versus evil battle, but I don't think so. That red might be Khazad-dûm. Khazad-dûm does have that colour of red, so this could be a good versus evil. Ooh. And that black's probably Mordor, actually. I remember a Númenórean descendant. But if we've got Gondor here, then maybe it's not Arthedain. It's hard to say, though. But definitely this slope here, that's where I've kind of nestled myself, is... oh, that's kind of funny. We can see the trebuchet. So this is Numal. I didn't know you could do that. I can't see any of his other units, but I can see the trebuchet. Cool. Anyway, distracted by that for a minute. Yeah, I would be doing the same if I had this this really beautiful position up here. But Numal, oops, it is. Numal has got his... trebuchet up here, and he's got a very defensive formation with his Gondor Militia Archers there, And the Gondor infantry, nice and beefed out, full armor for these boys. Marksman of King Randros on the flank. Ah, that's Dale, cool. More Gondor militia archers. Nice guards of Osgiliath force, and veterans there too, armored up veterans. Pinneth Gillen cavalry, which you have to be careful with. And then some Mithrandir's retinue, who are very frightening. Over on this far side, though, we have General Kenobi, playing Arthedain. More cavalry for him. Forest Aaron Knights, Arthedain marksmen, dismounted Forest Aaron Knights. And then dismounted Knights of Illuminus. Arthedain marksmen there. Armor's upgraded. Yeah, full armor upgrades for these boys. Very cool. Then the Forest Aaron defender line, backed up by some Arthedain men at arms. More armor for these guys. So my Belegar footmen are going to be getting minced without doing much damage, I'm afraid. Then far over here with Dale, we have Kuko. Yeah, Kuko. Cool. That's fine then. Or Mount Militia. I'm not sure. He's got his Dalian cavalry either way. Earls of Dale, and Dalian Cav. In the back, in the main line, Swordmasters of Isgaroth. Dismount Earls of Dale, and then some more Swordmasters, Barding Herd, and then all the way at the front, Mirkwindy Bows, and Blackshot Dragon Slayers, and then some Dalian Royal Guard. And there's surely something here. He wouldn't just have such a wide open gap. Maybe he would though. Maybe he is maybe he is playing it fast and loose. So we're very glad that Czech Norse has gone so heavy into his cav, because neither myself or Cyril's really have, and the enemy have a hell of a lot of cavalry here. Now, the only thing that we've got to work in our favour at this point is the fact that the enemy kind of has these great defensive locations, and they're using them, which means that me and Sid, deployed so close together, we can try to just power slide into Gondor and wipe him out before anybody gets to him. So that's the current plan. The trebuchet is coming in hot with fire. Fire ammunition, of course, is coming in hot. And it's striking down some crossbows, but in all honesty, if it was going to kill somebody, I'd be wanting to go for the crossbows too. The pikemen, yeah, a bit of a shame, but Sid's got his boys spread out, so he's happy enough to take that fire for a little while we rush on forward. Not having my general in the warlords is quite nice for me. It just means I can kind of mistreat that unit a bit. If they do end up just getting swallowed up by all these Forest Aaron Knights, they're going to kill oodles of them, and I don't have to worry about a lucky charge from the Forest Aaron Knights killing off my general. Because although I've got so many Balakith units, I'm still an evil man at the end of the day, and the Belegar boys are probably not going to be restraining themselves, and they might run off. Warlords of Umbar, though, can have a nasty charge on them, so we are trudging across, nice and slow, as you would expect from these heavy cavalry, but this is a Gondor infantry force up front. I'm wanting to charge it. The Gondor spears are on the flanks. They're going to be coming in to try and shut me down, but if they're going to be blasting us with the trebuchet, I'm wanting to smash them with my Warlords of Umbar. And that was a pretty damn decent charge, even though it was a little bit uphill there. They got a good few slashes on me, and I lost this guy. This guy's going to go down too. Oh no, he made it. Oh, he's back in for more. He had his freedom, but he was like, nah man, I'm in. Oh, that's because everybody else sort of charged in. What? They were lucky. They lost a few of them, those poor Belegar pikes, but they could have been a lot worse. So we've almost really made contact with Gondor. And General Kenobi sort of is coming in from behind Gondor to support him, which, that can work, but you just need to be quick. Whereas sometimes it is quite nice to just come in on the flank, because you are still exposing your ally to a 2v1 fight, even though you're coming in to support him afterward. Czech Norse here with his poor nomadic raiders, they're just not able to deal with this, but all they're really kind of there to do right now is use this high damage ammunition. This Blackshot Dragon Slayer fire is armor piercing, so it's just going down in these nomadic raiders. So you can be chuffed to bits with that. And he can't really come forward with his cavalry because those Earls of Dale will kill quite a few of them. And also Khan's cavalry is not very well armored, with the exception of those cataphracts, of course. So even just the intense arrow fire from Dale will be painful. We're clashing all the way across this little Gondorian line right now. And as I said, Sid and I are sort of able to work together here. And I'm able to really pour my full power right on this flank of Numal. And I'm really wanting to do that quickly because I'm receiving a lot of fire. Since I'm using my cavalry quite aggressively, he's able to get in a few charges with his Penethgillan cav. And really do some good damage to my poor Belketh marksman. But the Belgar footmen are there to hurt them and actually cause a rout. That's crazy. And this is an armor upgraded Penethgillan cav. The main damage though is coming from that trebuchet, as since my men are standing still. That's quite cool. That's kind of a cool shot. Let's go for something like that. Yeah, well the banner's there. Yeah, I like it. Cool. And I like to take this picture nice and early so that I don't have to be watching out for a shot and I can kind of just focus on the battle. I'm throwing in my Harbingers of Castamere. Once again, since I don't have my general in that unit, I don't care. Just get it stuck in. And we are ploughing through this flank alongside these trolls. The sentinels getting in there too. I don't usually use the sentinels so early. And as I say, since we're fighting 2v1 here, Sid is just able to pour forward with this wall of Urukai and is just overwhelming the Gondorians. And General Kenobi is just, he's probably micromanaging his cav, but he needs to get stuck in there. These Arthedain marksmen are coming on in, but that front line is about to break. Over here, it's kind of just a bit of a back and forth sort of charge fest, really, with nobody really too focused on making contact, but a lot of people have issue with that. I usually think, though, if you do have a fight going on in the other part of the battlefield, sometimes just waiting and seeing how it's going to go is not a bad thing, as long as the opponent across the way is doing the same. You know, you can't, if somebody's fighting if your allies are fighting a 2v3, you can't just sit back and say, oh, I'm just going to see how it goes. You have to get involved. But if your allies are fighting a 2v2 and you're just staring down your opponent on the far side of the battle, I'm just not wanting to look at my men getting roasted. Those poor boys. Oh, luckily it's just the Belgar footmen. Oh, over here we managed to catch some boys. Very nice. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so sometimes, though, it's not a bad idea to just sit and see how it's going to go. Mithrandir's retinue, very high-quality Lancers, but just Lancers at the end of the day. So my Warlords of Umbar will take that fight, but I threw in my Belagar footmen just to make sure that I took it a little bit faster. And we've actually got some assistance from Czech Norse. So here's the issue. Czech Norse is supporting us. So Czech Norse wants Dale to just sit and stare at him. And that's kind of what is happening over there. But, oh wow, he's actually helping us a lot. Thank you very much, Czech Norse. He's running riot with his cavalry. And but Dale is coming in with his cavalry now. So that's pretty good. So yeah, and as I say, helping somebody doesn't mean throwing in your entire army. Dale's coming in with a few charges from his Dalian cav, catching these crossbowmen of Cyril's, breaking that unit, getting the Lurch hunting pack as well. They'll do an okay fight themselves in melee, and that's kind of lucky for them. Oh, actually, I was going to say that's very lucky that the Earls of Dale actually stopped the Dalian cavalry charge, but they didn't really. They allowed their allies to slip through quite comfortably. Guards of Arthedain coming in though, and that's very messy for them. But still, the main front line has broken. And we've done that without taking immense casualties. So now General Kenobi is coming on forward, but we're still, this unstoppable blob of Sid is just marching on in, backed up by a few of my Belketh shield bearers, just provide a bit of AP to that front line. We are smashing into this. Now these armor upgrades, the Forest Aaron Defenders are of course very well armored as standard. That's exactly what my shield bearers want to be fighting. And we're just fighting little man for man here. And as I say, this blob of death is is being able to move forward without issue. Of course, the Arthedain marksmen are going to be loving it. If there was a ranger here, this would be great. If there was the Grey Company on the field, this would be making us cry. But, oh, there are Dunedain rangers over here. So yeah, they need to try and get their way to the front. But Czech Norse, once again, being our saviour, and just messing with them. Varia Cataphracts over here. Wind Riders, more... I don't know how his micromanagement is keeping up with this. My head would have exploded right now, but he is doing it. A few of these units are staying stationary right now, but he's doing a good job. and watching our back, so our overwhelming infantry powerhouse can keep on moving. Harbinger's a Castamere coming around for a big flank, and I'm just wanting to sort of grab these Arthedain forces wherever I can, just to whittle them down and hold them back so that we can this blob of death can keep on moving. How does that look on the mini map? Oh, looks good. Looks good. There is actually a bit of surround going on here. The trolls have come on forward, which is nice. Just smashing into these dismounted forest Iron Knights. Let's see, I've got an issue with a lot of human men-at-arms. The Swordmasters of Esgaroth, they are definitely somebody that I think I rate very, very highly, but there's a lot of them that I don't much care for. One of which being the dismounted forest Iron Knights. But yeah, Dale is coming forward in force now, which is quite good. He's realised that basically Czech Norse is happy enough waiting here. He's happy enough just managing his cavalry like crazy. So he's sending forward all of his infantry to come and stop us, which is going to mean Czech Norse needs to move up with his infantry. He can't just micro his cav, because we've been doing pretty well so far. We're not going to be able to deal with this army coming in now. The Dalian cavalry... Oh, no! Oh, crumbs will not look at that. That's a... damn. Yeah, that's a shame. Quite a lot of them actually made it through 7. That's lucky. You know, you gotta be careful with this stuff. I just hate stakes. I never deploy stakes. And I hate when my allies deploy stakes. It's just too dangerous. But no. Nurad retainers. So much melee cavalry from Khan today. These Forest Era Knights are Lancers at the end of the day, so an extended melee engagement, they win. But these Swordmasters coming in right onto my flank, actually, that's unfortunate. Oh, those poor Belgar Pikes are going to get minced. An arrow fire coming into them. This blob of death is running on fumes now. And we're colliding with a lot of quality forces. So we're really just relying on the ground that we control. Still, our archers are trying to do a bit of damage. Over here, I've got my Belgar footmen trying to hold back. Oh, good stuff. Thank you there, Czech Norse. Great charge, because this is not a fight that these Belgar footmen are going to be winning either, like if they're not supported. But no. Then over here, some Bellicus shield bearers starting to die out. Heavy armor, great morale. They'll hold for a while. The Harbingers of Castamere are going to be doing quite all right. And cheaper sake, those trolls are they're still kicking. There's still quite a lot of them too. So that's impressive. The Berserkers are coming up now though, and there's still a lot of arrow fire coming into them, so that's dangerous. But we don't really have a choice right now. We're just powered. Oh, that's a beautiful. Oh, look at that. Maybe that's actually something I'll go for. Just love the Narrow Sentinels mixed in with the Bellicus shield bearers is a beautiful sight. They're probably not going to be too long for this world, as the dismounted Earls of Dale are getting a flank around them. But we're countering that flank with a flank of our own on the other side, of the Berserkers cracking into this heavily armoured force. And, Khan, where are you? Okay, looks like Dale is still prepared to hold back, Khan. And now that Czech Norse is sort of out of ammunition, maybe the Shoreland Patrol? Those Shoreland Patrol are still opening fire. Good stuff. But these Barding Herd have a shield, they have good armor, they can take arrow fire to the face for a little while. They can take a hell of a lot better than most phalanx units can. Get some Moranon halberds up there? No sir, they don't want that. But yeah, these elite units on this flank and the cavalry are mincing through what's left of Sid. Even these guards of Orthanc are starting to struggle. But I think that's largely down to the Merquindi bows as well as the charges. Sid's still got 120? Well, sorry, 102 pikes there, jeepers sake. But yeah, our little, what is left of the blob of death is now being surrounded now. And we're not going to be lasting too much longer. My Balakith marksmen out of ammunition, having to come forward and face off against the Earls of Dale. This is not really a fight you want to be in. Even though if you are a Balakith marksman, you're a pretty decent hybrid. It's oh, there's even some sword masters in there. No. But somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to hold back so that the Narrow Royal Guard can keep on firing. Over here, the Mithrandir's retinue are still standing, but they've managed to get themselves stuck in amongst the Adunheim Shield Guard. I've actually, I've made some big mistakes recently. in some battles that I have. Oh, I think that was Gondor routing. I charged a unit of Arthedain shield guard, thinking that they were shield bearers, and thinking that the shield bearers were the spearmen. That was dumb, and yeah, lost a good unit of mercenary cav very, very quickly. But yeah, hey, Harbingers of Castamere backed up by those trolls. Only what, 5 trolls? Where the hell are the other trolls? Oh, they're over here. Okay, cool. They're coming in to support the blob, and so we're very grateful for that. So Gondor did admit defeat there. And that's Sid dying, actually. So hopefully his men. There's not too many Uruk-hai left in the field. There's not too many of my forces left on the field either. So it really is down to Umbar here. Sorry, Canned. Now, oh god, these poor Barding herd have actually been sort of knocked out of position. They were just too. I think they were too far spread out. So the Nurad footmen were able to just launch themselves in there. So that's good. Arthedain's general dropped next to the massive troll shield there. Check Norris still firing away. Like, to be honest, I knew he was being beneficial. I didn't know he was doing quite as much as he's doing. He was a real aid for us here. And as I say, if he had brought an entire cavalry army, he just wouldn't have been able to micro as well. Like, this is what you want. When a guy says, oh, I'm going to be a cavalry-focused army, this is what you want him to do. And this is how you want him to support you. And yeah, he's done that perfectly. I'm a massive fan of this. Like as I say, I knew he was helping us. I was just a bit too focused to be able to tell just how much he was helping us. Shield guard there. Great defensive skill. Great armor on them. But yeah, they're a bit outmatched here. So, but all we're trying to do here is hold their focus and kill off as many more as we can, and just hope that we've done enough for Czech Norse to bring it home. Which with these chariots, late game, a nice full unit of chariots is tough to beat. You know, when you've got a lot of men to really bog down the chariot, to catch him with something, ammunition to throw stuff at him, a unit of Kildoran River Patrol would be, you know, the end to these poor guys. It would, you know, that's great, but it's just not, there's not enough left on the field now for that. And it really is just Kuko trying to hold back the purple tide for long enough to wipe us out. And he's actually getting in some good counter charges. Well, some good charges with his Earls of Dale. We'll see how effective this is. 161. They come on in. There's a counter charge, but dropped it down. Not actually as many kills as I expected there. That surprised me. I know they've only got a charge of 2, but still, I would have thought more. I guess it was because it was a charge right to their face. Yeah. Hard to say though. Poor Sid's pikemen there. They've held out very well, especially up against the Dalian Royal Guard. And he's still got, you know, he's still got a lot left over there. My man just walking over the trebuchet now. Harbingers of Castamere still pretty healthy. Just gathering what I can. The cataphracts standing their ground. And I think that we're just sort of mopping up now. We're able to grab stuff and sort of smash the back of these Barding herd now as well. Watch out for those stakes, boys. I guess, to be honest, when Canned is on the field, you would just deploy stakes, but you just gotta be wary about it, boys. You know, when you're in because you see your allies deploying these stakes during the deployment phase, you've got to be looking at it. You've got to be saying, right, okay, there's stakes here, 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 here. I know you just give your cavalry an order to move. You don't really think about where they're going to be, like the route they're going to take sometimes, but it's dangerous. It's very dangerous, as we see them. Wind Riders coming in. Matching up against the Earls of Dale. The Earls of Dale, I think, would probably take that fight, but they're trying to do their best. They're trying to keep on charging, and you know, he's still in this. He's still giving it everything he's got. As I say, I think it was just a case of this was really one of these situations where the opposing side, the good guys, yeah, it was a good versus evil. That's really cool. I like when, you know, because we didn't plan that. I just like it when people do good versus evil fights, just as nature. You know, it's nice. Or just sort of somewhat lore friendly engagements is cool. I'll always try to do that. If I jump into a battle and I see like people are arranged in a good versus evil fashion, I'll try to follow that up. But yeah, I think that this was really a situation where the good guys were betrayed by their superior positions. You know, each one of them had a nice hill in their deployment zone. So each one of them deployed on said nice hill. And then it was just a case of just, you know, we came forward and we were like, cool, if you want to be defensive, we're going to overwhelm each defense in turn. And so we just threw ourselves at Gondor, and Arthedain just wasn't there in time. I think Kenobi could have been a bit faster on the mark. You know, he formed up behind him, and then I think he just kind of micromanaged his cav and, you know, tried to get his archers into position. I think he really should have, you know, just rushed his boys there. Preferably, what I would have maybe done is just come onto my flank, so that it would have turned it into, because what it was, of course, was it was a 2v1 with me instead against Gondor. Whereas had he come onto my flank, even just shown up with his army, I would have had to turn to face him, and you know, it would have become Sid versus Gondor. And with that superior position, that would have probably not gone the same way it did. So we'll jump through my kills quickly. Our Royal Guard there, as I say, they keep my general safe. That's part of it. They rack up a few kills though, and Spearmen, you know, is nice to have. Well, Spearmen are nice to have. Harboring is a Castamere, thrown in nice and early, chuffed to bits with them. Belagar Pikes there, ooh, yeah. Even the Sentinels had a lot of boys left though, to be honest. They did not too bad. Shield Bearers would have kind of liked more, considering the enemies we were fighting, especially 47. That's unfortunate. Yeah, would have definitely wanted more from those guys. Axe Guard there, only 8, but they were definitely charged down. They were shot to pieces and charged down. That was not. I think I remember that. I didn't catch that, but no, that's not. That's unfortunately not a great representation. A Dunaim Shield Guard there, 59. They killed a few of the Mithrandir's retinue, so fair enough. And then the Belagar Footmen, it's not really about kills for them, they're just doing their duty. Balakith Marksmen there, 67, not bad. It's kind of unfortunate they're you know, getting the same kills as the Belagar Archers, but one of them did have to get thrown into a very unpleasant fight. And the Warlords of Umbar really taking names at the start. You know, I loved that I could just charge right into those Gondorian infantrymen. That was great. When you are defending a position like that, you cannot have every position defended by spears, you know, unless you've gone for like a full spear force. So we could just come slamming into those Gondor infantry. I think a lot of people do look at the Gondorian infantry and they're like, yeah, they can defend, which they certainly can. But like, if you slam them with a few cavalry charges, they'll start to disappear. And yep. So Sid, it was great. As I say, it was one of his. You know, he was still pretty damn new at that point, so I was really impressed. Just the blob of death, you know, carrying on through, and he was really just taking the lead, and I was backing him up, which was nice. Czech Norris, absolute Chad this battle. I really didn't notice. I didn't know that he was doing as much as he actually was doing. Like, his cavalry were everywhere right at the start, and that was nice. Loved his army composition. Yeah, just all around fantastic. Czech Norris ever says to me, hey mate, I'm going to take mostly cav, no problem. A lot of other people say to me, oh, can I take mostly cav? No sir, you're not allowed. I don't know if you can do it. Kuko, I think his intuitions were good. You know, he did see that his allies were in a lot of trouble, and he did just grab everything he could and moved it on over to try and do like a last ditch effort to win it. And because he knew that Czech Norris was quite far away. That was one thing. I think Czech Norris was really quite far away in the fight, so when he did come forward, it took him quite a while. Maybe he could have been a little bit closer, but that's a tiny, you know, judgment. But like Kuko was, he saw that like, yeah, I can jump in on this, and that was good. It was definitely the right thing to do at the right time. And supported with cav, he saw that Czech Norris was supporting with cav. He had quite a lot of cavalry himself. He used his cav, so that was nice. And then Dumal, I think it was a very sort of forward defensive position, and it was quite well defended. But it was just, you know, we came forwards in such like big numbers, trolls, cavalry. You know, it was elite infantry units. You know, everything was just going to be overwhelming him, and that was tough. And then, yeah, General Kenobi, as I said before, I think he just tried to micromanage his cav when he really should have focused on just getting his infantry up there. Because if, you know, when we were just about to buckle the Gondorian lines, had we just had this swarm of Arthedain men-at-arms, you know, fighting down here on this slope, instead of instead of that, you know, we fought the Arthedain forces when we had the high ground, you know, and that was General Kenobi. Definitely shouldn't, you know, you should have known that. But hey, that was sort of a dig at the Kenobi. That's not me digging at him. But yeah, then apart from that though, GG. Thank you guys very much.